And now, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. He's a successful entrepreneur, published author, top listing agent, a real estate and finance expert that goes to bat for you every day as a consumer advocate. Your host and the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes.
Hello, everybody. Welcome from whenever, wherever you may be listening. This is the Consumer Quarterback Show. Your host, Jonathan Torres, for today. No, that's right. Brandon Rhymes is out getting more listings, getting more business, selling homes for folks all around the Tampa Bay area and even outside of the Florida area. As he mentioned a big listing the other day, about $10 million listing that he's really excited about. So imagine what he can do for you. Don't forget that this show is powered by the Platinum MVP team at platinummvp.team.kw.com, and we carry this show not only through terrestrial radio here thanks to our friends at Salem Radio, but also all across your favorite podcast platforms and even your smart TVs. So you can find us on Roku, Fire, Apple TV, and Amazon. Be sure to check us out there. Look for Brandon Rhymes or the Consumer Quarterback Show. And today we're going to kick off by thanking again, as we always do, all of our partners and sponsors that make the show possible. We are fired by local businesses, and one of them just happens to be one of our favorite, Replenish IV Solutions. Now, Replenish IV Solutions is a favorite of Brandon's. It keeps him healthy, keeps him strong. He goes in there, sits down, whether it's at his house, they'll come and do a house visit if you'd like, or you can visit them at one of their Tampa locations, and they'll do an IV infusion of you with all the vitamins and nutrients that you need to keep you running, keep a busy guy like Brandon running, and so check them out. It's an amazing way to make sure that you're getting all the vitamins and supplements that you need to keep you running. That's Replenish IV Solutions. Replenish IV Solutions. Give them a search, give them a find, and tell them Brandon Rhymes and the Consumer Quarterback sent you. As I mentioned, this is not only a vehicle for you to support small businesses and educate yourself as a consumer, as this is the Consumer Quarterback Show, and we focus on consumer advocacy, but we also help you to find and sell real estate throughout the Tampa Bay area, thanks to the Platinum MVP team. So first, we're going to check out our first property for today, which is going to be 14121 7th Street in Dade City. This is a beautiful existing restaurant that's been established in downtown Dade City since 1990. It's got a couple dining rooms upstairs as well. If you want to have some live-in management, or certainly these days, that makes it an attractive offer for somebody you want to bring in, maybe as an operator. It's got a 1-bedroom, 1-bath apartment. It's got all the furniture and equipment you need to start running this business day one. Plenty of parking available, and an amazing entrepreneurial investment for those of you out there looking to maybe start your first business. So check us out at platinummvpteam.kw.com. Our second property is going to be this gorgeous house in the Carrollwood area, 14663 Village Glen Drive, and this is in Tampa, as I mentioned, in the Carrollwood area. 2-bed, 2.5-bath, but it is almost 2,000 square feet. Gorgeous, completely renovated, outdoor pool and kitchen. It's even got a covered lanai and outdoor shower. You could live outside and inside the house. I mean, that's how great this house is. Master bath with a jacuzzi tub, a sauna, a tanning bed, and their gourmet-style kitchen was designed by a local restaurateur. So you got to check this place out. It's 14663 Village Glen in Tampa. And again, you can find that listing and a lot more by visiting platinummvpteam.kw.com. Again, as we like to do here on the show, is not only educate you as a consumer, but bring on local businesses that can help you succeed in life, help you achieve the goals that you are trying to reach. And that may be purchasing your first home or moving up to an existing home, or maybe you're relocating from outside Tampa Bay or Florida. And so joining us now is Nick France from the CPF Mortgage. And so you're our first substitute for Justin Kelly, who's been recently on the show a few times. Thanks for coming, Nick.
Absolutely. Appreciate you having us. Thank you.
So tell us a little bit about your role currently at CPF.
Sure, absolutely. So as you did mention, I work with Justin Kelly, our president and CEO. I am a senior loan officer with our company. So if, as you mentioned, you're looking to buy that first home or maybe even you're an experienced buyer or investor and you're looking to get your financing secured, we're step one, where you would go to first and make sure you got that right game plan to get that done.
Yeah, one of the things I love about CPS right off the back is that it's a family business. Justin has given us the amazing kind of family story behind CPF, and it's one of the things that I find attractive. I like to know who's the guy that signs the paychecks at the end of the day, where my money's going. And it also, for consumers out there, I feel that it's easier to hold your business accountable. If you're locally based, where the boss sits every morning.
That's right, 100%. We're still working in office. A lot of companies, they're remote, they're all over the place. You mentioned that we're local. We're almost that family shop that you go online and you look at our reviews. You're going to see those people that you've talked to on the phone mentioned by name. So there is that element that it's a daunting thing, especially if you're not an experienced buyer or investor. So to have a name, to have a person you can know and kind of trust along the way. Go in and shake their hand if you want to.
Right.
That speaks volume for a lot of people right now, especially uncertain on the next step or the right step to make.
Yeah, and again, it's one of the beautiful things about this show is that if someone calls CPF Mortgage later today, not right now, they can ask for Nick, and Nick's going to answer the phone, right?
Absolutely.
You're not going to get some call center out there and who knows where.
That's right.
So Senior Loan Officer at CPF Mortgage, Nick France joining us on the show. Because the market is so hot right now, but at the same time, we're seeing a lot of uncertainty in other parts of our economy. What are some recent changes that people need to be aware of when it comes to getting ready to apply for a mortgage, or those who may be starting the mortgage process?
Yeah, that's a great point you bring up, right? Because the market's ever changing. The state of the market, the environment you're about to walk into is always changing. So to have a good idea of what's going on right now, one thing that we've specifically done as a lender to kind of help combat this new market is, competition is up. In order to get you as a buyer, so to speak, higher up on the totem pole when you're making that offer. One thing we're doing, we're calling that listing agent to let them know the details behind what happened. Any little step you can to get your foot in the door on these offers when making offers to listing agents, you need to do that because it is a challenge right now, especially with limited inventory and even with raising rates, strong demand still currently there right now.
One of life's greatest mysteries is the credit score, right? A lot of people are always trying to figure out how to maximize their credit score, how to improve on it, or how to get out of a hole, maybe, potentially. Right. Give us an idea right now in regards to, some of the credit repair work that you guys help people out there do, because, there is still a feeling that you might be missing out on a great housing market. And so for those folks who want to jump into the housing market, may need some credit repair, what is it that CPF can do?
Absolutely. So I would say probably one of the biggest hurdles is going to be credit, right? It's a very common one. And you mentioned the mystery of what goes into a credit score, right? Ever-changing score, if you would. So one thing that we do when we take a look at a credit report in a individual that's applied with us, and maybe they're close to the line but not quite ready to make it, we have a lot of credit repair tips that we implement with people as opposed to just sending them off. One of my favorite, not a lot of people know this, but an authorized user on a credit card is an interesting tool and method you can use and implement to boost your score without spending $1.
Interesting. So almost kind of like a cosign on a credit card gives them like an extra little boost there.
Yeah, so to break that down, as mentioned, it's a double-edged sword. So what that looks like is, let's say your credit was down and I had my credit in good standing. Crucial part, have someone that has their credit in good standing.
Yeah.
I could actually throw you on my card,
yeah,
and you never need the card. I could cut it up into a butterfly as soon as it comes. But I have you on as an authorized user, which allows you to piggyback off my credit history.
Now, big difference between whether or not that card gets used? Is
Absolutely.
Okay.
Now, if the card is used poorly, let's say I run up a balance and I don't pay that down, you get the negative impacts of that. So this is a double-edged sword in which you really need to choose wisely who you have to help you with this.
Sure, and preferably someone who's not going to need it or use it.
Absolutely, and if they do, that's fine. Just make sure that it's being used in good standing. What does that mean? Not everyone has someone they can go to and ask to be thrown on their credit card, right? You gotta have to know someone and have a good relationship. So a more practical solution for people that don't have that is to, do exactly that. Get your own credit scores, get your own credit cards that are affecting your score in check.
Okay.
How do you do that? Pay down your balances, keep that low compared to the amount they let you borrow. That's going to significantly impact your score there.
And one of the other things is I think some people also may have the misunderstanding about closing out an account, right? Like paying it out in full. That also may not be a good thing.
As a matter of fact, that's the wrong way to approach it. So let's say you are that individual that you're like, hey man, I've heard it before. I got to pay down my balances. I get it. And you do exactly that. You go to pay that balance down, and you say, never again. Let's close the card.
Right.
That actually manipulates one of the many factors that build your score, your timeline, your time history. So that's pretty crucial to not go ahead and close the account down once you pay it.
Now, quick question. There's all these services now, both some that are offered through banks, some that are offered through credit cards, and now you've got some mobile apps, all that can say, hey, we're going to give you your credit score for free. You're going to be able to check your credit score whenever you want, at no cost to you. What, if any, impact does that have on your credit?
Yeah, absolutely. So it's a good method to kind of follow it and track it. You're going to realize there's many different credit scores. There is definitely not one score.
Okay.
And even furthermore, there's different models that these credit bureaus look under. So, for example, you're applying for a credit card. Your Credit Karma might show you a score based off the model perceived that the creditors for a credit card would look at. Mortgage lenders, they're looking at oftentimes different scoring models. And they're taking a bigger picture into play. So that number you always see on your Credit Karma app is not always the number that a mortgage lender will be using when they go to get you that loan. That's something that a lot of people run into and they're caught off guard by. But it's absolutely not the same score that you're seeing on that free app that you're accessing there.
All right, we'll talk a little bit more about credit repair and how that factors into the home buying process. But we also have some amazing information coming up on those who are relocating. All right, those who have moved lately in this big kind of exodus from other states into Florida. We'll explain to you what you need to know and need to do to be prepared to buy a home here in Tampa Bay and the greater Florida area. This is the Consumer Quarterback Show. We'll be back with Nick France from CPF Mortgage.
Hey everybody, it's the Captain, Matt Bruce, and you're listening to my buddy Brandon Rhymes, a consumer quarterback. Sell, Brandon, sell.
To get in touch with Brandon, call
Hey, Brandon Rhymes here, Consumer Quarterback Show, in studio with Martin Gramatica, that is, former Tampa Bay Buccaneers Super Bowl winner. Lifeguard Imaging, lifeguardimaging.com, saving lives through early detection.
Thanks for having me, Brandon. Yes, that's what we're doing at Lifeguard Imaging. You come in asymptomatic, and that's what we do. You're being proactive. You're coming in. We do a scan from the neck to the pelvis. It's a full body scan. It's a 3D image of every organ, and that's where 90% of the deadliest cancers are, in our mid region. So we can see everything. But for your listeners, we have a real good special. We have a $599 value, absolutely complimentary. They can come in for a coronary artery scan, which will give you their calcium score, 100% complimentary for your people.
Very cool. Hey, take them up on that offer, 813-917-1894. Call or text complimentary scan, 813-917-1894, and check them out online, lifeguardimaging.com.
Dennis Prager here for Brandon and Lindsay Rhymes, owners of the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams. Buying, selling, investing in real estate, their nationwide Keller Williams network makes them the best team to work with. Sellers, have your property featured live on air, creating multiple offers. Buyers, leverage a unique system that gets your offer accepted, never overlooked. Call or text 813-750-0550, 813-750-0550, or consumerqb.com. CPFMortgage.com.
Have you desired more income and more freedom in your life? Now is your time. Keller Williams Realty has just launched our own real estate school, and you can get licensed for free. I'm Brandon Rhymes, host of the Consumer Quarterback Show, owner of the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty. And for the first 3 people who reach out, I will personally coach you. 813-917-1894. Call or text 813-917-1894. ConsumerQB.com. ConsumerQB.com.
Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes. Online at consumerqb.com. Brandon is Tampa Bay's #1 consumer advocate for real estate and financial advice. Call Brandon today at 813-917-1894.
Welcome back to the Consumer Quarterback Show. Your substitute host, Jonathan Torres. Thank you so much. Also to Brandon for letting me fill in for him today as he's out there, again, growing the business, growing the Platinum MVP team, which this show is powered by. Don't forget, if there's a listing that you may be looking for or wanting to list with someone in this hot housing market, go ahead and reach out to the Platinum MVP team at platinummvpteam.kw.com. But coming up, we've got a feel-good story that you may be eligible for free admission to Zoo Tampa. We'll tell you exactly how you may qualify for that later on in today's show and today's Feel Good Story. Also, our sponsor for this segment is going to be the Golf Cart Depot. Now, these guys have been around for a long time, but they recently rebranded it to the Golf Cart Depot. They've got a couple locations in Tampa, Clearwater, but man, it just seems like these golf carts are everywhere now. Regardless of what neighborhood you may be living in, you see kids playing on them, you see parents using them during Halloween. You see them, people, especially down in Sun City Center. I love seeing the wide sidewalks, and seeing everybody parading around and going to Publix and all the different restaurants and stuff down there in their golf carts, especially with these gas prices. I think it may be cheaper to just buy a golf cart right now and get around in that for the time being. But go ahead and check out Golf Cart Depot at golfcartdepot.com. Again, 2 locations, Tampa, Clearwater, and again, another great local business and supporter of the Consumer Quarterback Show. Let's get into a couple of listings here that we have with the Platinum MVP team. 4220 West Pearl in Tampa. That's 4220 West Pearl in Tampa. This is a commercial building. It's a 1,200 square foot building, but it's also a mixed use property with about a little over half an acre in South Tampa, which is amazing. Incredible location for Tampa Bay. Corner lot with ample parking. Again, in beautiful South Tampa. Great opportunity if you're a contractor, landscaping business, somewhere where you may have a lot of large vehicles or a lot of vehicles in general that you need room for. This is going to be the location for you. 4220 West Pearl Avenue in Tampa. Now let's take a look at another commercial property, which is 3008 North Nebraska Avenue in Tampa. So just north of the other property. This is, although it looks residential on the outside, it's actually deemed as an office space. It's almost 3,700 square feet. So it makes for a great office building. They've just dropped the price. They're motivated to sell this property. It's got 6 rooms, 3 bathrooms. It is designated mixed use. Plenty of building and street parking. Located in popular Seminole Heights. I mean, you got tons of restaurants, nightlife happening in Seminole Heights now, so it's a great area to be in. And of course, it's so close right there to the big intersection between I-275, I-4. Gets you, I mean, you'll be in downtown in 10 minutes. You can be down to Armature Works in probably half that time. So check it out, 3008 North Nebraska Avenue in Tampa, or you can look for a listing that may be closer to what you're looking for at platinummvpteam.kw.com. Joining us here for our second segment is Nick France, who's with CPF Mortgage. He's a senior loan officer sitting in for Justin Kelly today. We were talking about credit repair. We were just talking about, these applications, these mobile apps, and now it seems like everybody's just giving away your credit score. I mean, it's like you buy a bag of potato chips and it says that you can, check your credit score with it. And we were talking about also building that credit. There are so many credit cards out there. When it comes to advising some of the folks you've worked with in terms of credit repair, how do you differentiate? What are the things that you need to look for in terms of the good credit cards, the bad credit cards that are going to help you build your credit?
Right, absolutely. So using credit cards, great tool. When thinking about it as a method to boost your credit score, however, a little different, right? We want to get practical with it. Ideally, if you're trying to boost your credit score, you're probably not in the best financial spot. You might not be likely to be approved for all these great rewards cards. But
Sure.
one thing you can do, if you're right there and you need to get those scores up, getting new credit cards could be helpful. One thing I refer many people to, maybe you can't pay those balances down. Maybe you don't have a lot of money, to boost your score. Getting a secured credit card is a good method to help you get that new line of credit if you're really damaged and no one's willing to give you a small $300 or $500 credit card.
So what do you mean by a secured credit card?
Absolutely. So you could go online or you can go into a bank and let's say you have $200 put together or $100 even.
Mm-hmm.
You could put that money up and actually get it in exchange for a credit card that you can now spend.
Got it.
So that same $100 that you would have spent on groceries or gas,
Mm-hmm.
designate that to a card, preferably a secured credit card,
Yep.
if you can't qualify for a normal one. And that's going to allow you to get your foot in there and start boosting your score with new credit history as opposed to maybe some old dainty credit history.
Yeah, because that's one of the other factors that I don't think people
100%.
realize is that you may be one of these folks that has been real responsible about making sure that you don't have any balances out there. You've maybe had the same 2 or 3 credit cards for a long time, but you don't ever use them. You pay cash,
Absolutely.
But that in itself could hurt you a little bit if those accounts haven't seen activity in a long time, right?
Yeah, absolutely. You want to make sure that you're keeping your credit cards utilized with intention. What do I mean? I had one individual tell me, Nick, I have $30,000 in credit cards. I'm good. I'm only using $8,000 of my availability. My credit usage ratio, it's really good. I can have 30 to use. I'm only using 8.
Sure.
Here's the
He's
problem.
thinking debt to income ratio.
He was taking that $8,000 and putting it all on one credit card.
Wow.
I said, I see, right? Your credit usage ratio is perceived by each individual card.
Yeah.
So although you may have, 5 cards that tally up to 30,000, if you have one card that allows you to borrow 10,000 and you're using 8,000 on that one card, your usage ratio is actually way higher than you might think it is from a grand scheme of things. So
Right.
there's nuances, there's specific things that you can't see on a Credit Karma app.
Yep.
Many people they worry.
Well, like you said, whether it's Credit Karma or whatever, wherever you may be looking at your credit score, typically you're only getting 1 or maybe 2 scores, but there's a number of scores there that you don't fully have access to that also play into all of this.
You got it.
Now let's go ahead and get into our second topic, which is for those that, again, are moving to Florida, and Tampa Bay has been the biggest recipient of that in the state in terms of just the influx has been unbelievable. I mean, I've seen license plates from states, that you would never think,
Yes.
I mean, you see Oregon and you see, Alaska even. When moving to Florida, I mean, again, people think, the mortgage is kind of maybe this universal thing. What are maybe some of the nuances, here at the Florida level or at the local level that you would want to kind of bring to their attention?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, you hit the nail on the head on a couple things. Mortgages are not a one-size-fits-all. They're very specific and custom to what it is you're looking to do. And I would say number one is, like I mentioned before, be intentional. Have a game plan. Don't just go in blind. A lot of people, you mentioned an influx of people coming to Florida. Absolutely. I get calls regularly. Hey, I'm coming to Florida. I just sold my home. I'm ready to jump. And one thing that I see that a lot of people kind of speed bump over is, really logistics and planning, right? Do you need to sell your home first? Do you need to sell your home, after, or could you keep it and turn it into a rental? These are things that a lot of people want to just kind of jump the gun and get into Florida real quickly. But having a proper plan and procedure in place before you list that house or throw in that offer,
Yep.
you got to know exactly the steps to take place, because it's not a one-size-fits-all, scenario for each individual.
Well, and again, that's a perfect opportunity to remind people that, Brandon Rhymes, who typically, is the host of the show, he can help you get that process started. We have all the connections thanks to CPF Mortgage and our other show partners. So Nick France, CPF Mortgage, it's cpfloans.com, the website.
You got it.
All right. Thank you so much for being on the show, and we'll hope to see you back soon.
Yes, sir. Thank you as well.
All right. More coming up on the Consumer Quarterback Show.